How a poor man taught the world the real meaning of happiness. In a bustling kingdom, where gold sparkled brighter than the sun and merchants filled the markets with their treasures, there lived a poor man named Ravi. He had no wealth, no land, and no fine clothes. His home was a small hut made of mud and straw, standing on the edge of the village. Every morning, Ravi woke up with the first song of the birds. He would step outside, stretch his arms toward the rising sun, and smile. His meals were simple: a piece of bread, a handful of rice, sometimes a fruit offered by neighbors. Yet he always ate with gratitude. Unlike others in the village who ran about chasing coins and trade, Ravi spent his days helping whoever crossed his path. If a farmer struggled with his oxen, Ravi lent a hand. If an elder carried a heavy load, he carried it for them. If children cried, he made them laugh with simple stories. People often whispered behind his back, "Look at this fool," they said. "He owns nothing, yet he walks around as if he is richer than the king himself. What kind of happiness is this?" One day, news spread that the great king of the land was restless. Though he had palaces filled with jewels, armies at his command, and servants to grant his every wish, the king could not sleep at night. He felt an emptiness that no treasure could fill. Seeking answers, the king called upon his wise ministers and said, "Bring me someone who can show me the real meaning of happiness. I have tasted wealth, power, and pleasure, but my heart remains empty. Find me the teacher who can show me what I cannot buy." The ministers traveled through villages and towns, searching for sages, scholars, and saints. Many came to the palace, each offering long speeches and philosophies. But the king remained unsatisfied. His heart was still heavy. At last, a young minister said, "Your Majesty, there is a poor man in a small village. He owns nothing, yet people say his laughter is louder than any celebration. Perhaps he knows something we do not." Curious, the king disguised himself in simple clothes and traveled to Ravi's village. He found him sitting under a tree, playing with children and laughing as if the world itself were a festival. The king approached and said, "Good man, I have heard much about your happiness. Tell me, what is the secret? How can you laugh when you have nothing?" Ravi looked at him with warm eyes and replied, "Stranger, you are mistaken. I have everything." The king frowned. "Everything? But you live in a hut. You own no land. You wear torn clothes. You eat scraps. How can this be everything?" Ravi chuckled softly. "Let me show you." He led the king to his hut. Inside, there was nothing but a mat, a clay pot, and a small lamp. Yet the place felt warm, filled with peace. Ravi poured a little water into a cup and handed it to the king. "Drink," he said. The king took a sip. It was just plain water, but Ravi's eyes shone with gratitude. "You see," Ravi explained, "to you, this is only water. To me, it is life itself. I do not need gold in my cup to be grateful for its gift." Then Ravi pointed outside where children were playing. "Listen to their laughter. Do you hear it? That sound is wealth. A man who can smile with others has treasures greater than coins." Finally, Ravi touched his chest. "And here," he said, "is my greatest palace. A heart that holds no envy, no greed, no fear. This is where my happiness lives. I do not chase it. I simply guard it by being grateful for every breath, every moment, every kindness." The king sat silently. The poor man's words struck him more deeply than all the wisdom of his scholars. Before leaving, Ravi added one last thought. Happiness is not something to be bought or owned. It is a way of seeing. A man with little who is grateful is richer than a man with much who is never satisfied. The king returned to his palace with new eyes. For the first time in many years, he sat in his grand hall not to count his jewels, but to watch the setting sun. He ate his meal not with indulgence, but with gratitude for the farmers who grew it and the cooks who prepared it. Soon, his people noticed a change. The king became gentler, kinder, and more content. He no longer chased endless pleasures. Instead, he invested his wealth in helping the poor, building schools, and creating gardens for all to enjoy. And when people asked him, "Majesty, who taught you this wisdom?" he would smile and say, "Not a scholar, not a priest, not a rich man, but a poor man who owned nothing, yet showed me that happiness is not in the crown upon my head, but in the peace within my heart." From that day onward, the story of Ravi spread across the land. People came to understand that the true measure of wealth was not gold, but gratitude, not possessions, but peace. And though Ravi remained poor in the eyes of the world, in truth, he was the richest man of all. Happiness does not come from wealth or possessions. True happiness is found in gratitude, kindness, and contentment with life's simple gifts.